How do I do this one? Share. Oh God, this is like. All right, I see you, D. Hey guys. All right, hold on. Vihan's requesting that I put this in the classroom. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. All right. James, these animals. All right, it's posted in the Google Classroom. Let me see how to do this here. All right, guys, what questions do you have? So just so you guys know, we have three things. We have the parallel lines one. So if you want parallel lines, say parallel lines. If you want triangles, triangle congruence, properties about triangles, or if you want anything with transformations. The study guide answer key has all the ones that you don't need to do. So what questions do we have here? Number 14 on what? Triangles? Triangles. 14, 12, triangles. All right, hold on. 14 triangles. Just let me know if I'm doing the right one. 14 and 12? All right, here we go. This one says it's equilateral, right? So all of these sides are the same. You only need to pick two sides. So you just need to pick your two favorite sides. So it doesn't matter. You can set these two equal, or these two equal. So I'm just going to set these two equal because they're there. 4x plus 3 equals 18 minus x. Add x, you get 5x. Subtract 3, you get 15. So x equals 3. That's that one. Whatever. 12. Yeah, 12's a little hard. You got to look at it as two different triangles. So here's a right triangle.
You want this one or not?
What?
I'm going upstairs.
That's fine. Yeah, it doesn't matter. This is a right triangle. This is isosceles. So look at this one separate. This is 3y. So if this is 3y and it's isosceles, you can copy and paste the 3y and put it here. So now in this triangle, you have 6y and a 90. And that has to equal 180. So 6y has to equal 90. What does y have to equal? What is that? 1, 5, 15? So y is 15. Then if y is 15, you can take 15 and put it back in for y. So then this angle right here is 45. And that means that's 45. Then in the big triangle, you already had 50 up here. This little angle right here was 45. And then this was 2x. So this whole angle itself is 45 and 2x. And then this one is also 45 plus 2x. So if you do this out of 180, what do you have? 90, 50, and 90 is what is that? 50 and 90? 140. Plus you have 2x here and 2x here, that's 4x equals 180. Take 140 away from 180, you get 40 equals 4x, so then x equals 10. Good, great. Wow, 23 people. Dia, you want 6 and 7 in the triangles? Yeah, Vihan, give me a second. Dia. Am I talking very loud? Because the phone's literally right next to my mouth. I feel like I'm screaming at you guys. Hold on, I gotta come up with an apparatus here. Oh my goodness, so much better. Okay. Dia, what 6 and 7 do you want? What problem? Anyone else? CPCTC? That's what you use that after you prove the triangles are the same. So if you just had two triangles, I don't know, we'll make them. Right, so these two triangles would be, let's just call them ABC, DEF. If you look at it from, yeah, I'm doing that right now. Right now I'm doing angle, side, angle, Arslan. But it's the same thing. So if you look at this triangle, if you look at each triangle separately and you just list on here what this is, so this is an angle, this is a side, this is an angle, that's what tells you that the triangles are the same. But right in the beginning, you only knew that C, this segment, and then this angle was the same. Yeah, one proof. So right now you're going to say that these two triangles are the same. Make sure you match everything up. So if I said ABC, I have to match it up to ABC has to go with EFD. So before we didn't know that all of this other stuff was congruent, all these other components of the triangle, but once you prove the triangles are congruent by angle, side, angle, or whatever you're using, then you can say, now A is congruent to E, AC is congruent to ED, EF, and AB. Vihan, did that help you? Arslan, did that help you? Hotline services. Yeah, hold on. I know which one you're talking about. This one, the job hotline. It's not really on the quarterly, but I'll go over it since you're here. It says the hotline service charges $25 plus, yeah, plus 4% commission. So you could write 4% as a decimal. So 0.04. They're getting paid 4% commission on everything that they make. So it's every time they make a sale, they make 4% on the sale. And that's how much they make. So that's their total cost. And then it wants to know what is the cost if the client earns $1,500 in the first month. You're just going to take this and put it in here. Where am I? What is the cost? So the cost is C. You don't know C, but you know 1,500. I think I actually messed that one up on the study guide. So if you're checking it, the 1,500 should have went in there. I think I put it in for C. That was wrong. And then you would do 25 plus 0.04C equals 1,500, and then just solve it. That's really just like, could you write a linear equation? That's like in the slope chapter. What else? 26 people, guys. Look at this. The only thing you need to know about rotations is if, remember if you rotate, how much from marking period on? If you rotate something, you just need to know like the alternate rotation. So if you had something here and you rotated it 90, the alternate rotation could have been, you could have went 270 in the other direction. 180 and 180 stay the same. Or like if you had this and went 90 clockwise, you also could have went counterclockwise. Slope's gonna be on it. Hold on, let me read this. Vihan, from marking period 1, you need to know just about midpoint. So if I had this picture, and this was 3x plus 5, and this was 2x minus 8. You just need to know what to do if you see the midpoint. That's from marking period 1. Distance formula you need to know how to do. The short answer is going to be a combination. So it's going to be something to do with midpoint, something to do with isosceles triangles. So if you had an isosceles triangle. Yeah, who is that? All right, I'll go back to you guys. Isosceles triangle. So if this is 4x plus 3 and this is 2x minus 8, you have to know what to do with these two sides. All right. And then for this, you also need to know how to do Pythagorean theorem. So 8, 20, and then do 8 squared plus 20 squared. So on the short answer, you're going to have to do this, this, and this. You got to do 3 things in one on the short answer. Distance formula. Yeah, distance formula. I don't know, 3, 6. Vectors? Nah. All right, I'll go back. Hold on. Let me do the distance formula first. 3, 6, 8, 5. Find the distance, you're taking the difference. 3 minus 8 is -5. 6 minus 5 is 1. Square it, add it, take the square root. Make sure when you square the negative, you keep it positive. So 25 plus 1. So the distance between these 2 points would be root 26. You're going to need to know how to do the distance formula so you can like make points on a coordinate plane and classify a triangle. So if I give you points on a coordinate plane, you have to do the distance formula 1, 2, 3 times. And then there's a problem with this on the study guide. If all the sides are the same, it's equilateral. If they're all different, it's isosceles. I mean, it's a scaling. Let me see. Skew. Skew means that they don't intersect, but they don't run parallel. So like, I think it was the pyramid. This one. Skew means that they're never going to intersect. So skew to BC. BC is going to go forever this way. But it's never going to actually intersect with EA or ED. It's sort of going towards like the back over here. So it's not going to go, it's not ever going to intersect here. But normally we say that lines that don't intersect are parallel. But in a 3-dimensional space, you can have lines all over the place that never meet, but they're not parallel to each other. Only one proving triangle question. You need to know about arrow notation. You don't need to know about vectors. No, they're not going to run in the same direction. It's like, I don't know, if I had this, I don't know, like these two things are never meeting. They're never going to meet. I don't know, like these two things are never meeting. They're never going to meet, but they're not running parallel to each other. What is percentage what? Okay. Yeah, you don't need to know the vectors, but you do need to know the arrows. So each 8 and then -5. So this would be -1 plus 8 would be 7, and then 3 minus 5 is -2. So you just need to know how to move them. You don't have to write it in arrow notation. Hold on, let me go back. Rosita, what do you mean one proving? There's one proof, but that's not the one with the distance formula. But there is one proof where you have to say like side, angle, side at the end or whatever it is. Angle, side, angle. HL, number 1. Yeah, Arslan, I'm going to go back to you. Number 1 on the triangles. Yeah, that was the one I was talking about with the distance formula. Only arrows. Only arrow notation, no vectors. Thanks, Penny. Number 1, this is the one I was talking about with the distance formula. So it gives you these points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 2 zeros here. So here's B, here's C. You have to do the distance formula 3 times. So you would do it, I would just line them up. I would do 1, 5, 6, 6, 6, 6, 2, 0, and then 1, 5, 2, 0. And then do the distance 3 times. Minus, minus, minus. 1 minus 6 is -5. 5 minus 6 is -1. Square them, add them, take the square root. This winds up being root 26. You don't need to take the square root. You're just trying to see if the distances are the same. 6 minus 2 is 4. 6 minus 0 is 6. Square, square. Add, take the square root. What is that? 16 plus 36 for 52. And then same thing, 1 minus 2, that's -1. 5 minus 0 is 5. You have the same numbers here and here. You're going to do the whole thing anyway and get root 26. So see how these two are the same? So that tells you that it's isosceles. And then it wants to know, is it a right triangle? If it's a right triangle, the slopes have to be opposite reciprocals, because there has to be a right angle here. Really, you could just count. So if you just count from here to here, it's up 1 over 5. And if you count from here to here, it's down 5 over 1. So they are opposite and they are reciprocals. So they're perpendicular. What was the other question? Arslan, HL is hypotenuse leg. It has to look like this. Remember we said you can't use ASS, but if it's a right triangle, you don't call it ASS or SSA, you call it HL, because there's a hypotenuse and there's a leg. So that's not a thing on any other triangle, but if it's on a right triangle, then it works. Any other questions? What time is it? Yep. 6:30. The only thing about rotations and 90 degrees is that the opposite of 90 is 270. You don't have to do the coordinates. $18. No. Do it. You should have done it already and looked at the questions. This one, you don't need to know about vectors. Was that your question? Vectors aren't on here. Parallel, perpendicular. Hassan, you're on the front of this one? All right. Parallel, perpendicular, neither? That's with the slope. I'll do this one. BT and MV. So here's the two things for BT and here's the two things for MV, the 2 points. So B's at 1, -4, T's at 5, 12. M is at -8, 3, V is at -4, 2. When you're finding the slope, you're trying to find the change. Yeah, I get that. So 1 minus 5 is -4. -4 minus 12 more is -16. Slide this underneath to get the change in y over the change in x. So the slope of this one is +4. Do the same thing. -8 minus -4 is -4. 3 minus 2 is 1. Slide this underneath, it's -4. See how these are opposites and reciprocals? So then they're perpendicular. I think this one's parallel. So if you do the slope on this one, whatever it is, like let's say it was 2/3. If the other slope is 2/3, then the lines are parallel to each other. And then if you just get random things like 2/3 and 1/5, these have no relationship. So they'll cross, but it could just look like this. It doesn't have to be perpendicular. Exterior angle theorem? For parallel and perpendicular, yeah. Is it on here? Let me see. I'll do the, I'm gonna go to this one. EAT would be, well, that one's not EAT. Let me just make one up. EAT is, let's say this was 120, and I said this was, I don't know, 40. If I said that's 120, you could do the long way, and you could say that since this is 120, this has to be 60. And then since you have 40 and 60, that's 100, and then you need 180, so this would have to be 80. The exterior angle theorem is just a shortcut that says that you didn't need to ever find 60. You could have had 120 and taken away 40. And if you do that, you wind up with 80. You never even need to know that 60 exists. So on the quarterly, it'll be one of the two of these questions. You'll either have to do, you'll either have to do like 20 and 50, and then say 20 plus 50 equals 70, not drawn to scale, of course. And then let's say this was like 140, and I said this was 20. Then you'd have to say this would be 120, obviously not drawn to scale. Number 11 for number 3. Let me do 11 first. 11, I would take the 91 and work supplementary to 91. So 180 minus 91, what is that? 9, 7, 17 minus 9, that's 8, 89, so 89. This is exterior angle. This plus this equals 4x. So 89 plus 2x minus 15 equals 4x. What is that? 2x. Because this is a straight line. Who is that? If this is 91, who is this? I can't. Yeah, 300 seconds, 300 minutes. God help me. Anyway, the 180, because it's a straight line. So if that's 180, then this is 91. So 180 minus 91 has to give you 89. And then you would just solve this. What was the other question here? Hold on, let me go back here. For number 3, how are 5 and 13 consecutive? Did I put consecutive? I should have put corresponding. I might have wrote the wrong thing. I did it at like last night. This should have been corresponding. It shouldn't have been consecutive. If I put consecutive, that's my fault. Consecutive angles are like the angles in 22. Was that the other problem? I don't know. That's all right. Sorry, my fault. Corresponding in the same location. I have no idea. Hold on. So like this one is in the top. Are we back? You're here now? We're all here. You should be there. Jatam, what number 14? On what study guide? On triangles, transformations, or slope? Yeah, I did the hotline one. That one was just a... I don't know why it's blurry. Is it still blurry? I did that one. It's not on the quarterly. If you really want to watch it later, it'll be there. I'm trying to find it. I don't even know where it is. Here. That one. You had to write an equation and then make the t equal 1500. Penny, what 13? Arsalan just did it. That's the parallel perpendicular. How do you tell if things are parallel and perpendicular? Find the slope. That's the one I just did. Penny, what 13? Chapter 4. What's chapter 4? It says chapter 4 on it. Oh, chapter 4. What number? 13? I missed it. Yeah, 13. Chapter 4, 13. Oh, that one's not as hard as it looks. I would just find x first. Because the whole thing... This one? Yes, no. I'll just keep going. This has to be 180. So right now that's 112. So what's 180 minus 112? Yeah. What is that? 8, 7, 6, 68. So this angle is 68. And then you could forget about the 112. You could just do that in this triangle. You have 68, 12, and 4. Is that positive 4? I think it's minus 4. I think it was a minus 4. 68, 12, minus 4. Plus you have a 6y here and a 2y here. So that's 8y. Is 180. Okay, what is that? 80 minus 4, that's 76. Plus 8y equals 180. And then just solve it for y. What 19 through 22? On what topic? Triangles? Anyone? Anyone? These? This one. This one, you should, you're welcome. This one I would just highlight QS, what does it want to know? What postulate or theorem will tell you that these things are true? So QSR, so if I trace QSR and SUT, that's these two angles. See how these two angles are like sitting on this line and this line? So because these are corresponding, it would tell you that our S is parallel to TU because they're corresponding. If 1 and 2 are the same, those two are sitting on these two lines because they're alternate interior angles. So you would get PT is parallel to QU. And then if RTU, that's this one, and TUS, that's this one. If these two equal 180, it's because these two lines are parallel, because they would be consecutive interior angles. So QU would be parallel to TP or TR, whatever. What problem, Vihan? With the triangles? X and Y? Are you talking about these? Because I did these already. 7. There's no systems. There's no system of equations. Why? This? Arsan, you don't really need to worry about this part for tomorrow. If you could just say what the relationships are with the angles, you'll be okay. So like for this one, if you could just tell me that these angles equal 180 because they're consecutive interior, and then set up the equation, add these together and set it equal to 180, then you'll be okay. Page 1, number 7. Eight, 12. Yeah, this has X and Y, but you're not going to put them together in the same equation. You have 8 and 12. Those are consecutive interior. Those have to equal 180. So if you do 8 and 12, those are only in terms of X. So you could just say 8 and 12 equal 180. So then 4x and 7x is 11x. And then 10 minus 17 is, what is that, -7. Equals 180. 11x equals 187. I believe x equals 17. You don't really need to put x and y together, but x is 17, so you can always take it and sub it back in. 4 17s and then plus 10. What are 4 17s? 34 to 68. 68 plus 10 is 78. So angle 8 is 78, which means this angle has to be 102. And then just take y. This is 3y. But that's separate because now you have 102. So you don't need to make a system on this one or tomorrow. Any other questions here? I'm gonna have to cut you guys off short because I have to set up the camera for pre-calc, or else it's gonna be backwards for them too. So you guys have like 10 more minutes for questions here. questions like 8. Determine the slope. Yeah, I think there's one that just wants you to find the slope. Just subtract the points. You just need to know about counterclockwise and clockwise, like the numbers. Yeah, it just reconnected. I don't know what happened. So if it's 90, you gotta know the opposite's 270. If it's 180, the opposite's 180. Yeah, what? Buffering. It was. Now it's not. Mm-hmm. Anything else? You guys got 3 minutes left. I gotta get ready for pre-calc. Gotta clear my brain of geometry. On which one? This one? On this one? 23, 24. No, these you can skip. Skip these. That's on the study guide. I said to skip those. This one, you don't need to know this for the quarterly. And you can skip that one. This whole thing you can skip. Skip this whole thing. Skip this whole page. For a proof? I can't do the proof, like the whole proof. I can do a sample proof, but it's not going to be obviously the proof from tomorrow. You just need to know how to make like an assumption from something. So A, B, C, D, E. If I give you AB is parallel to DE. Yeah, the proof we did, it's like the one in class. The one in class like this, I put that one on the Google Classroom, I think. The one that looked like this, and I think it had the line like this. Honestly, I would look at that one that I did from the Google Classroom. Because the proof is not this. I was just making that one up. I would go back to that one we did today in class. I think I called it ABCD. And I would look at how I did it. Any other questions? Is it the one? Yeah, look for the letter Z and you'll be okay. Look for the letter Z and then put the numbers in so you don't have to come up with your own numbers. Your own letters, I mean. So like if you found this Z, I would just put 1 and 2 in here. And say 1 and 2 are the same. So it doesn't matter how it looks for the proof. For any proof where you have parallel lines, look for the letter Z, and then inside like the little creases here. I don't know what 23 is, but Vihan said it's not on the quarterly, so it's not on the quarterly. That 23 up there? That 23 I said skip. on the same worksheet. On this one, if you're talking about this one, you really need to just worry about identifying angles. These are the answers, but you don't need to worry about that for the quarterly tomorrow. If you could just tell me like alternate interior, alternate exterior, then you'll be good to go. All right, guys, I'm about to sign off here. No, it will not be on the quarterly. All right, I'm signing off. I will see you guys tomorrow. If you have any questions, what does what thing stand for? Alternate interior. You're welcome. Alternate interior. No. This one and this one. CIA is consecutive interior. So this one and then that one that I starred. Which 15? To write the equation? You just got to put in y equals mx plus b. Yes. Thanks. So you just put the -8 in for b and the 7 in for the slope. Which 15? This one? This one? That one is not on the quarterly. It's good practice, but it's not on the quarterly. All right, I'm really signing off here. I got to get ready for the 7 p.m. crowd. So I will see you guys tomorrow. If you have questions, you can try to email me. I might not see them though. I don't know. Talk to each other. I'm sure you guys can help each other out. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.